When life gives you lemons, you just want to, and you will, squeeze it on someone else's face. What up, weebs? It's Corn here, and today we have a high-low heist match review of me playing Stryker Marines with demo on the side of Jelgava Pills, or Jelgava Pills, depending on what you want to call it, against 3 players, 2v3, and it was a pretty sweaty match, I must say. It was very high pressure. As our teammates were pushing on the other side, we were kind of trying to hold the line. So I hope you enjoyed the match review, but first, let us quickly go through the deck. And hopefully Nintendo doesn't sue me for this, but here we go. I hope it's not too loud. I made this transition maybe more than 2 years ago, but anyways, we'll start talking about the deck from how I open, and then to like how I would actually, yeah, basically, and then all the other cool units that help me solidify or try to hold my front line. So we have the MGS that I like to open up with. I think everyone opens up with double MGS nowadays because of how good it is. It just 2 taps everything and it's fast, so you can always get in and get out. For 240, it's basically the price of a tank. If someone bombs it, it's fine. It's whatever. So it's a pretty good vehicle. If you stack 2 of them together, they 2-tap a lot of things. And then for infantry, you kind of want to open up with ACVs because they're fast. They transport 14 men, and then you pair them with, like for example, you can put a small team, which is an 8-man. You put them with either 4-con CQC, or you put them with scouts, which is a anti-tank. And then afterwards, for more beefy infantry, you have Marines or the CQC Raiders. And last but not least, if you actually need some kind of IV, then you do have them to pair Dragoons paired with combat engineers or more smalls, depending on your liking. And then ultimately, I think you still need tanks at the end of the day. So you have a couple of these like FEPs and HCs, 2 of each. I think it's good enough. The Sev to just sometimes poke at my opponents. And then for the support tab, I think lately a lot of people have been running more and more AA. I mean, like air, like just the slow planes. And sometimes I'm too lazy or I forget to save up for a fighter of my own. I forgot to call it in. So I prefer to just build my own. Like I just built my own A net, have four packs in the back. So screw you, opponent. I have 2 of these like lower missile ones because I sometimes forget to turn the radar off and they die to seed. And then I'm a click, so my opponent has less time to react. Also pretty good 3 charges compared to the Russian Meteorite in the mechanized specialization. Stryker Shroud overall a really good Shroud, except I don't use the APS, depending on this is up to you. The Hemet has the flatbed multi-purpose because I need big supply dumps, although I think in some maps you would prefer to have Lavels, but I think this is the easier way to play the game. You just have a big supply dump, and then the HIMARS are just poke at your opponent's backline and maybe supplies as well. So for helicopters, nothing has changed a lot. And then for the planes, I think it's basically the same, ASF, CJs, and then some bombers. So the rest of these, like 610 points, is completely up to you. You can have things like an F-35 with JDAMs to snipe backline. Although nowadays I don't really think it's that, like this deck doesn't really deal with backline as much. It's mostly just, I kind of need the big bomba power to hold the front line in case something breaks through. And then maybe the slower Harriers would be able to help me against like helicopters or an opponent's plane, like it's actually much cheaper for like let's say he tries to fly in a ground attack carrier or a ground attack A-10 or an SC-25, then this would be able to help me against it for how cheap it is, 165, and then keep it on my side of the map. So this is ultimately up to you. I think I'll still go with this though for now. Oh, too many points. What'll I do? I'll drop the lav then. Bye-bye. Okay. So with that, let us go straight to the replay. As we start off, this game wasn't really that long. About 30 minutes or so. I think let me just quickly check a couple things. Alright. So first things off, it was a pretty chaotic match, to be honest. When I loaded in, it was when I loaded in Kevin, which is the dude, he was like, "Okay guys, we're gonna play like we played last time." I was like, "Which time?" And then the deployment was an absolute mess. Um, we all kind of agreed that, at least the guys in the VC agreed that demo playing um, like what's that? Marine Soft is going to be better in the forest side because that is a deck specifically for that. Whereas Strikers kind of excel in urban fights, standoff. So I would have done better off in I, but eventually he said I wanted to play I, and he's kept calling it J sometimes, but that's all right too. And then the other guys were just playing 3 on this side, so yeah, overall pretty okay. I mean, it's a pretty standard deployment, I would say. Normally it's 2 versus 3 because of how big the maps over there is. And however, our opponent said otherwise. We had a bit of a disagreement here. I told Demo if he doesn't want to go, I'll go. Although if it doesn't work out, we'll just swap back, which we never did. Oh wait, let me talk about my opener. So it was kind of an interesting one, really. I wanted to face check my opponent to see if they tried to heli drop or cheese me in any sense. And the Super Cobras, maybe I felt like having 3 of them was gonna be good. You know, I felt like having them was good, and it kind of boiled down to a couple of things. One, I was trying or eventually going to contest into A. Second of all, even though there is a really big, like this is pretty good for my opponent to just wreck me, like this road. He can just roll vehicles down the road and just reinforce this entire tree line. Whereas for me, I only have this, so I thought to myself, fine, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna drive down this road and I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna open up a roadblock right here. And then whatever else is in here, I'm going to leave it empty for now as I try to send my 2 MGSs over there downwards into A. So that's what I ended up doing. And with the spare points, I thought, okay, well, I'll just go fly my Super Cobras in, see what they find, maybe try to kill some planes or helis, and it's going to be alright. So they did try to open up with the Spartan. So we do spot Viper, instantly 1-tap it. That was very funny. And then a Raptor. And then I'm out of missile, so it's time to run away. Although, yeah, it happens, I guess. Okay, lost 375 points. Probably not ideal. And then it's actually this that I'm more afraid of, you know, like carriers in my face. They have a lot of them. And it's kind of the marine problem nowadays we have. The marine problem we have nowadays. It's like the planes are so cheap. You basically it's actually not worth it running helicopters anymore, I think. I think I should stop running them. We also run into our opponent here. They did change this map, by the way. This map is fairly new compared to like the previous versions where you actually spawned way back here. And right now we have a closer spawn, so we do have our first engagements fairly sooner. I decided to split my troops here because I knew that, I mean, first of all, there are 2 clearings, right? First, if he tried to push me from here, I mean, whatever he tried to do, he would have to cross somewhere, and I would be able to crossfire him, and it would be pretty nice if I could do so, instead of just blobbing in a forest and leaving an open gap in my lines. So he did try to kind of push me. I don't know why he pushed me, even though he saw like 2 ACVs. So that was a thing. Some Forcon popped out. There was a tow in the back, so I wish I didn't get him though. There's an Osprey. I think if my opponent tries to do anything sneaky next time, I'll just call out more of those. What do you call them again? Okay, so now my second opponent shows himself. So what I'm gonna do is, because I know my opponent is basically in that entire tree line, or that small patch, let me zoom in real quick and grab some supplies. Okay, so he's currently right here, right? So I know that, okay, maybe I would be fine if I push in here. So I try to poke a little bit. The scouts are going to go in first, okay, and then he pops out with PJ and the RC squad, so I'm just going to pull back. He's pushing me all of a sudden, which I actually managed to pull out an armor knight. This guy is here for the recon, so his machine gun, actually AGL is going to come in pretty handy against that. I think I just blasted something. I'm not sure what that was, maybe a Vilka? And try and poke at the other CV90 in the back, but I'm not too confident if that's going to be the case. I did already use a smoke though, so if I use my second one, it's time for those guys to go back home and resupply a little bit. We're kind of going to go in and clear out the PJs because they weren't really, let's just say, like they were kind of caught out by a bunch of people. And for now, we're just running into our opponents, kind of. Okay, take care of the other guy. And then now, since our infantry are a little bit battered, there is the Albatross as well, just coming with a bunch of rockets. I'm just smoke everything up here. And surprisingly enough, the killer has actually saved me here a bit against the Albatross. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna load everything back up, run back home. MGSs did kill a unit, but I think that's about it. He's also running at me with the Forcon, as you just saw right there, caught a glimpse. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna... I think if he's running at me with CQC, then that means he's confident that he is AT. So I'm just gonna run away, and I'm not gonna deal with them at all. The Armor Knight is gonna go out there and try to scout for some enemy infantry. I'm gonna go back and resupply them. The spare infantry here that managed to exfil, as the ACV somehow magically heals them back. Okay. Very funny. It's must fault the RSC going back for supplies. I'm just gonna quickly poke that. Not sure why. Okay, well I guess yeah, I know what I'm doing. And then my oops, yeah, then my Armor Knight runs into something. So I thought, okay, at least I know that that thing inside that AVP, sorry, is an combat engineer squad plus a marine squad. These infantry are pretty beefy, you know. We get clicked in the meantime. Poor snipers. Bit unlucky here. But overall, yeah, like eventually ended up just getting taken out there. So I do need to get some more recon infantry up there in the front, and also buy my own McClick, because the McClicks are really cancer sometimes. They're pretty tough to deal with. So my ACV here managed to heal out both of these squads somehow on the front line. You know, just pull more dudes out from the front line, and then instead I would, yeah, it's a pretty good combo, no? Like you keep the supply vehicles on the field, you move out of the McClick, even though I still lost the fighter. Sorry, not the fighter, the sniper. And I go back and resupply the infantry transport instead. In the meantime, as he pushes into me through this gap, he just used 2 of his McClick charges, so I'm not sure if he has a 3rd one. Maybe he has, okay? Maybe he does, but I'm just gonna poke at him and see what happens. A CJ comes in. Just gonna stop firing. I might need more though, but for now I'm just gonna quickly pull back the injured infantry there, and then let the new ones go, and maybe hopefully take out that take out that engineer squad. Just gonna try and see what we can do with the next marine squad and the AVP, although there's a new transport coming in, so I'm not really optimistic about that. Yeah, corn 2v1. I think I'm also getting 2v1s. I don't know. So yeah, they have 3 right. Let's just put it that way. Okay, 3rd charge on the click comes in. Does a pretty good shot though. I mean, does manage to land a pretty good shot, but turns out it was his 2nd click. Oh yeah, I hate this. I mean, it's sometimes, you know, like I guess it makes sense, you know. Like you keep track of how many McClicks they have, but you don't expect the 2nd one, which is quite funny. But regardless, I'm just going to... No, there goes the other one. Yep, he used 5 McClick charges, and the funny thing is that it's only going to take him a minute and a half to actually resupply all that. So it's actually, the closer your resupply is, the faster or the more impressive you can be. So that's why I wanted to buy my HIMARS to pop at their supplies, maybe see if that works. To keep using Ospreys that I could spot with my scouts. This nuke was definitely not necessary. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess cool, because like we were 3v2 on the other side, and one guy was just, I mean, like we were yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a 3v2, and one guy could keep on saving up for points, but as a result, because how like this map was, right? Because of how big this side of the map is, like how do you know where to nuke though? That's why I'm not very big fan of nuking, at least on this side of the map, unless you kind of know where your opponents are, which, okay, I guess the nuke barely missed that leopard. It's gonna run away. Another bomb coming out over there in the middle, helping with our pull, I mean our teammates over there. It is kind of a mess currently though, as I try to, I'm just not really being able to help out my opponent. Oh, dude does get spotted here. Scout snipers. Gonna reinforce with the Sev because I know they're an absolute giga chad when it comes to deleting infantry. And I'll see if I can do anything about that leopard. That is a really expensive leopard though. That is a maybe 320 points. Not saying that my oh yeah, I'm not very confident on my 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 MGSs are gonna be able to deal with it. That's the only thing that they can't deal with. So yeah, sometimes, you know, in forests like these, it's rock, paper, scissors. And I think in this map, it does give you a lot of, like, because of how many gaps there are in this forest, it really does help you, or like at least give you some vision early on, and like kind of like an early warning system, you know? So you know when some things are coming in. For example, this M113, we see that coming in because of the snipers. We also managed to spot the... Oh, there's a nuke, hello. And then we take care of it because we had infantry inside already waiting to ambush him. Unfortunately, my pack, I forgot to turn it off after he ran out of missiles. And then, yeah, afterwards, we do take care of the F-35. So we did kill a lot of planes here, which is nice. ACV gets spotted by probably like there was like some anti-tank over there in the bush or something, and I finally found out what I thought to myself, okay, my opponent, surely he's not using some kind of like what ATGN team in his opener, right? Turns out it was the IFAV, which is only like what 57 points, 55 points. Unfortunately, my Sev decided to shoot the the tank instead of the you know, the IFAV, which was kind of weird. I was expecting it to do something else. And I'm just gonna keep on calling in a bit of recon here and there because I know that this is a really big map, and if I happen to know how to exactly, okay, we spot the HC, yeah, like back to what I was talking about. If I know what my opponent is doing beforehand, then it would always be a good thing for me to just set up my defenses early on so I can know where to go. Meanwhile, there's an F-35 coming in with a double chase out, turns out. Actually nicks both the tank and the McClick, which is pretty impressive, I think. I'm not sure if that was a McClick, but or that was a pretty good F-35 that even managed to get out. So really nice bomba, I guess. And right now we have pretty good recon across our front. The only question is, how do we reinforce things? No, like how we... Yeah, right now, you know, it looks pretty good. We know front to back. We have good front to back. 2 MGSs waiting to jump on people, and then we even have a tank. Wait, we don't have a tank yet. Unfortunately, we do manage to spot something that are in our line, so we'll just have to... It's from, I think, the Baltic SOF player. There's our tank, and then some infantry started running across. So yeah, this is the early warning system I'm talking about. No, like the... like we managed to spot some units. There were some units in here, and then also, yeah, some like they're pushing me at the same time, which is a good thing for them. Like, so they're doing it very well. In the meantime, though, it's definitely not good when 2 people are pushing me at the same time. I'm gonna have to pull back the damaged Dragoon, and then try to help myself with the bunch of infantry over here from this one guy. Like, this guy has 2 big blobs here, and then the other guy, actually, yeah, the other red guy has like a leopard and then like some ATGM or whatever that is over here in the middle. So the only reserve I have right now on the left is the MGSs. We'll try to see if we can jump on that guy, and the McClick is just gonna help us try to bomb that or like take care of that. Unfortunately for me, I think, oh, it's not happened yet, but okay, here it comes, boom, and then my opponent's McClick also comes back. I think this is the last one that just got damaged, but still, it was, I mean, landing direct hits on the Raiders and the Small is definitely not ideal, but on the other hand, he is also damaging himself, so I need to pull these guys out of the way. The Raiders run, and then there's more. My opponents are coming in. There's a pretty good F-35 bomb over there down there on the Leopard. So if you see it on 1 HP later, it's gonna be, yeah, it is 1 HP now. So if you checked a couple seconds earlier with my Raiders, I actually moved it upwards. and that is because um, there are some Marines here, right? They're shooting at my raiders, but if I keep running backwards or this way, they're just going to keep shooting at me. So what I want to do is to break line of sight. So instead of going backwards, I'm just going to go upwards and hope that nothing's in here. I mean, it's the only chance I have left, right? So I might as well. I'm going to die anyway, so um, that's what I ended up doing. And then you'll be able to see that at this moment, any moment now, okay, a couple things. Yeah, now they actually break. Okay, he smoked up himself, so maybe I didn't get saved. It was actually just, you know, good luck. Anyways, the MGS manages to take care of the tank, the Leopard 1 HP tank, and I'm just gonna keep on pushing with the now available and unleashed MGSs over there on the right hand side. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my troopers. They kind of just got deleted. Can I get a quick playback of what exactly happened? Like, these guys were full HP, by the way, a couple seconds earlier. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, they survived less than 8 seconds. So you don't want to have the 8, the 6 armored infantry. So right now, since our opponents just walked in with a bunch of new, you know, fresh batch of infantry, I thought to myself, okay, I do need to quickly bomb that, maybe even pop my own supplies if I had to, smoke everything up, and then try to see what I could have done with these MGSs. There's a Stryker shard in the back. I'm gonna keep running away from that position. Try to take out that Shorad. I'm not sure if I saw this earlier. I definitely did, I guess. So I could have kept my MGSs here so they would block line of sight, but I could still shoot at the Stryker Shorad. That would have been nice, like blocking down this road as well. But I think ultimately, you know, it was cool. I guess I just wanted to YOLO. Sometimes you just want to do it, and it did work apparently. I'm gonna click firing off at where my opponents could possibly be, but I do need to resupply everything. And then as a result, I'm just gonna let both of my Stryker MGSs split up at the moment, because sometimes when you're in the back of your opponent's lines, as you see right here, this supply point is currently being, there's something on it, and there could be something like the McLeak. Unfortunately, this Fighting Falcon had a Maverick, and then there were also some cluster planes, some cluster rock guys, and my Pack 3 MSE just violently unleashing itself on my opponent's face. And then now it's out of ammo, but it certainly did try to shoot as much as possible. And I saw my opponent's back line, I mean like his resupplying units with the scout squad that's currently here. I'm just gonna assume that it's, yeah, I need to bomb it. And then only when I'm out of missiles or on my packs does my opponent come in with the Albatross. I probably should have bought a fighter, but to be honest, after losing 2 packs and a bunch of stuff, I definitely, yeah, it was kind of awkward, you know. Like he just came in and mowed down a lot of things. My teammate is losing a bunch of helis because of that, but I'll be honest, I didn't have. Not even sure if I had the range for this, and there were also a bunch of buildings here, so. But I think, yeah, I was just out of stuff, man. I don't know what else I would have done there. Maybe call in the F-18, you know, the Hornet. Although I was my mind was more fixed on killing my opponent than it was defending myself, because I knew that everything was in a force and pretty well spread out, so it wouldn't really make sense for him to bomb me at all. But I didn't expect my teammate to be, you know, rather defenseless when it comes to an Albatross. Good news, the Dragoon takes out a what is that called again? A Guardian for free. Also some supplies here in the back, so we're gonna keep on moving with the MGS. The one MGS remains, even though there's something wrong with his engine, and we'll be going still as we try to pull back the Dragoon that's currently you know, has the couple dudes from the scout squad earlier. Actually, this scout squad gave us a lot of value, you know, spotted a lot of things too. And then, oh, turns out this was a CQC. What is that? like 4 cons, so we managed to. I mean, I think we took a rear shot there, but oh, and then another rear shot from the small. Turned out it was a small, so unfortunately, the scout team that did a lot for us eventually sacrificed themselves. But I think, yeah, okay, we're out of the thermal barracks, the small Ds. So we'll have to pull them back. Use the double move click that we now have, which our opponents don't. Okay, now resupply the HIMARS. I mean, these are just random snipes, you know. I don't think I even got anything with my HIMARS. Yeah, nothing. So I'm like, okay, if nothing's there, I'll just go somewhere else. The snipers that try to cap their cap manages to. Oh, there's a no. Okay, well I spotted the pack, but I don't think. Yeah, there was a bomb here too. But yeah, after we take the cap, just gonna quickly run away. I don't think my MGS killed anything. Maybe the killer, you know, that would be cool. My shadow goes in and spots a bunch of things. I might be a bit too wasteful with my clicks because I knew that I have a lot of charges, but in reality it wasn't really that good of an idea to just waste them. Although it probably did do a lot of damage. There's an invisible vehicle here, not sure what's going on. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, you're gonna send the 4-con in. Resupply them really close to the front line. Unfortunately, the MGS's journey came to an end. And then our opponent pushes back into the cap to take it back. I think it's good, you know. Sometimes if you catch your opponent slacking, you just do it anyways. I mean, you just do it. You're not gonna lose anything, right? I mean, just maybe a sniper squad. And right now, for the last, I mean, what? First phase actually went surprisingly well, but still, we're trying not to get spawn camped by a bunch of packs because, when the thing about this side is that, okay, what? We have 3 guys. Okay, right now there's like, assume this is the line. Okay, we have 3 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left. They have 3 guys on the right, 2 guys on the left. So sometimes I think what a mistake, or should I call it a mistake, but you have to understand the risks of playing like this. And although I think this was just a deployment thing, because normally people don't rush 3 people here, but because of like the more people there are on the flank, the more likely they're gonna have a bunch of packs, right? Like there are 3 of them in the back. So whenever you try to airstrike or help your opponent or help your allies try to bomb somewhere, you have to understand that it's not like it's not gonna be easy because they're gonna have a lot of packs set up or like heavy AA. So it happens sometimes. I'm just gonna say hello and pretend I didn't see that 4-con squad. Hello. Need my click fast though. Okay. Pops another 4-con out. I'm just gonna delete him with my CQC. Not sure what's going on here with the amount of 4-con that got spotted by his infantry though. So now we're just gonna try to help my own charade. Oh, unfortunately he dies. And there's an MGS here. Oh, hello. Yeah, okay, it's not ideal, you know. I mean, the intentions were right, but the execution was pretty bad. I think I ended up popping like both of the MGS's like his APS, but I actually didn't manage to kill anything. Right now, it's kind of a disaster. Another mid-click misses, pretty nice. Gonna smoke that guy up, and that is a very big blob of infantry. And the only thing I can do now is try to save my ass with, because he's kind of like converging onto me, you know. This Marine guy kind of did a pretty good job catching me off guard. I think my infantry were doing as well. My FEPs, okay, hello. Yeah, I'm at minimal range. I know I didn't do this. I wanted to deal with the Marine squad here, but although, okay, the thing I wanted to do was I probably should have just clicked here to finish off the Marine Raider squad, but at the moment, my mind was telling me, okay, this is the bigger threat that might kill my tank, and then I'm just going to maybe I'll take care of that, only to realize that my Fab, because it has less vision and also had an optic crit, it couldn't spot the leopard coming out. It's also there are other things involved, but ultimately I think, yeah, like spotting this was pretty difficult, so yeah, I got side shotted anyways. But yeah, that leopard was another big problem. It was a pretty big problem, and all of a sudden, oh, how come there's a CV90 in my flank? Hello, why are there so many dudes coming in? But the best I could do was just pull everything back, try not to lose anything. It's absolutely it's an absolute disaster. They even had like what, Mechanizia and an RC. Some big bombs do come in. I'm pretty sure it did kill like either a CV90 or a tank. I'm just gonna make click that. You know, scorched earth policy. No, I mean, I can have my supplies, but you can't have mine. My combat engineers are just gonna try and take care of his units over there on the right-hand side. Seems to be doing all right, although I'm not so sure about it anymore. Because there's a CV90 in my face. There's also a sniper, and he's driving across the open road, like this side of the map belongs to him, and that is kind of a problem. Gotta run away, run away. Yeah, it's not ideal. There's so many units, and the worst part is they know exactly. I mean, they kind of just send one guy in pushing me in, and then they send the other guy in once he needs to resupply. So it's kind of like, you know, it is quite problematic. Lavem gets taken out, and it's just me when I try to resupply. Oh, poor McClick runs out of smokes. Used his smoke earlier in the CV90, even though it isn't on paper a good vehicle in a forest, it does run pretty fast. And in situations like these, it's going to be pretty, I mean, it's a pretty scary vehicle, especially when I don't have my AT infantry. Because remember, the CV90 against any type of autocannon, it does do pretty terribly. Sorry, I meant like any IV with an autocannon performs terribly against the CV90's really thick kinetic armor. We do get a pretty cheeky snipe on the McCook, which is nice. And then now, because we had what? We had a Marine squad, and also like to basically deal with all the like the infantry transports. It's actually gonna be alright because like I'm not afraid of the CV90 anymore. The CV90 is actually most afraid of anti-tank infantry, which is the Marines. And also, like, I forgot to mention it, but I lost 2 of my packs right there just now. Almost lost my 3rd to the missing CB90 that tried to flank around. I'm just gonna smoke everything up here, try to save everything. And I mean, over there, the nuke from our teammate over there on the left. I think he eventually saved up for enough points after playing a bit defensive, which turned out to be a pretty big nuke. You know, wiped out practically everything that the guy that was currently rotated out had, which was good, I guess. It was pretty cool. And now it just leaves the rest of my my red opponent's units that are on the field that for me to clean up. And over there, when I lost, like when I had all 3 of my packs over there on behind me, it was kind of awkward. I think I kind of wish that I had spread them out a little bit more, but this was also right after I got pushed back, so I didn't really know where his CV90 was, so I kind of just kept them where they were, and then I had them on the radar at the same time. So the packs kind of, okay, the packs were kind of funny, you know. They were kind of like this. 2 missiles shot at them, and then the first 2 just went straight for this missile, and then like the next 2 afterwards went for this guy, went for that guy, and the last one got intercepted by this guy. So I think having 3 packs doesn't mean you're invincible to seed sometimes, and this was a pretty good example of it. And I hope next time I'll do better to try not to make that happen. The good news is that finally we're getting some reinforcement, and to take care of this big tree line that I could never properly control because they had so many infantry. I guess they just had so many infantry. Do spot the last Marine Raider, retreating Marine Raider squad, and taking it out would actually mean something pretty big for us. You know, it would mean that this guy will not be able to play with Marine Raiders for approximately 10 minutes. Although we do spot his his AVP coming in. Oh well, we're ready for round 3, buddy. And then my quick ult, meanwhile, to spot the Stryker charade. And then it dies, the Force Stinger. Where the, yeah. I was kind of hoping that it could have actually done something, but I guess it didn't. I just called the Viper in, and then he just, yeah, he just sniped it. Which is, you know, reasonable, I think. The Viper itself isn't a really good or a tanky helicopter in its own sense. It's always been, like, what, 12 armor? And the Seed sometimes doesn't even save it. He just activated last second. My Viper wasn't even turned at him. Meanwhile, Nuke goes off in middle. So this is going to be another, you know, fun air-to-air engagement as we try to push our foothold back over there in middle. Not sure whose nuke that was, but certainly might have just blasted a guy's unit. So we're just gonna try to snipe after, like go after the more valuable targets. For example, the Raptor comes first, and then the Hornet or the F-35. Unfortunately, here I think 2 of my missiles go off into Narnia, and then yeah, and then I pull back. But it was a bit too late for that, as our Hornet eventually gets ran down by this Raptor. Although, to me, I think it's always a good trade. You know, as long as I bait the Raptor in, they surrendered here, but. Having, like, as long as he's in my lines, I have a much higher chance of killing him than I do against, than killing his Raptor in his airspace. So yeah, that's about the end of this match, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Hilo Heist. And I must say, it was a more stressful match. Okay, that Marine Raider squad did a lot of damage. Although it's mostly against the troopers, so I'll probably never call them in again. I'll just call in engineers, I guess, next time. And then I think this is also the match that got me back into the top 100. So I guess I am a boosted player after all. I have to play with Ben to actually get back. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and take care. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.